Why are little students not joining? Let me drop a text in it. Let's wait for a few minutes and then we can begin. Meanwhile, I'll search. So, how many topics? Director's remuneration. Do you remember how many topics we were left with? Reconstruction. Mm. Why only five students are joined? Just a second. Hello, can you ask your friends to join? Okay, chalo. Meanwhile, let's start. Let them join. Okay. Any doubts till now? Hmm? Naira, the Banshee. No? Thanks, please now. Okay. Camera's on. ये सबसे tough task है. Okay, alright. Chalo, let's start. Now, in this question, describe the substantive procedures for the director's remuneration. Director's remuneration. Um, just a second. What substantive procedures they need to perform towards the year end? Okay. Trade paper and that too year end bank balance. Okay. It's 1st July 2025. Airsoft Company is a listed company which manufactures stationery products. Okay. Listed company and manufactures the stationery product. The company's profit before income tax for the year ended 30th April is 16.3 million. Total assets as a date are 66.6 million. Okay. You're an audit supervisor of Bethlehem and Company, and you're currently finalizing the audit programs for the final audit of an existing client. Okay, final audit of an existing client, Airsoft Company. You're attending a meeting with your audit manager when the following matters were discussed. Okay, so that is, I'm directly jumping on to director's remuneration. Director's remuneration. Airsoft Company's board comprised of 8 directors. 8 directors. Okay. Their overall remuneration consists of two elements. Two elements is that one is annual salary that is paid monthly and a significant annual discretionary bonus which is paid separate payment one on 20th April. Separately on 20th April. Okay. What do you think? What you need to check? Hmm? What need to check? One is annual salary and one is bonus. What need you need to check? Think logically. Correct amount of bonus, basis of bonus, right? Uh, See one thing, whether correct amount of bonus. You also need to check whether it's classed separately or not. Correct split is correct or not. And you also need to consider monthly salary, correct split of the bonus, split of bonus and salary. Year-end calculation of monthly salary. Check the sample of individual salary with the payroll records, whether that is correctly recorded or not. Check the bonus paid by bank because in bank they would record na bank ledger, bank statement. In case there is a bonus or anything coming up, is bonus a small thing or big thing? Significant. If there is anything significant, which major decision making is required, what would it have? Board of, yeah, board meeting. Very good. Board meeting. Discuss the board minutes first thing. The board minute notes. What is the amount? Whether that's any additional amount has been paid or not. Whether disclosure as per the legislation or whatever in the board minute. Check for the basis. and whatever the amount they are paid, is that genuine or not? Check for the basis as well. Matlab, you have not even gone through whole, but if you have idea that what are the pointers you need to consider, you will able to answer. I'm reading further. All remuneration paid to is included within wages and salary. All remuneration. So you need to, in this, you need to check for the split. Local legislation disclosure of all overall total directors are broke down element by director. Okay. Then you need to check whether that is a disclosure as per the local legislation or not. Compliance is there or not. Okay. Just a second. Uh, do you think you can take written representation? Here you cannot take written representation because you need proof, right? Written representation would be more beneficial if management is saying something. Here you can collect evidence. So why do you think there is a need of written representation? Okay? Okay. Yeah, let's discuss. You can take a correspondence. But why? Correspondence is usually from the external party. Here you can collect evidence, then why do you need correspondence? Think logically. Huh, Harsh? Usually you take correspondence with the external party. This is internal party. They are also not saying whether it's a listed company or non-listed company. If it's listed company. Usually that's when you don't have a lack of evidence. That's case when on that case you can consider. Okay. Oh, there's audit software as well. We can do audit software, huh? See, check for this. Check the schedule of the whether it's split by salary, bonus, and April as well. Check the schedule, ensure that is accurate. Agree a sample of individual monthly salary payment, bonus payment, payroll records. Check for this. Confirm the amount of each bonus paid by agreeing bank ledger account. Review the board minutes, additional payment paid or not, if the additional payment agreed or not. Check the amount paid per director, board minutes to ensure some are included in genuine. Because the disclosure in the like as per the local legislation, they want per director. That's why. Okay. Check for that as well. Harsh.r and Harsh. Are you both same? Harsh R and Harsh are both same person. Okay. All right. Obtain written confirming whether yes, you can take, sorry, my bad. Yes, you can take written representation including the bonus, right? Usually I've seen mostly scenario where the auditor cannot get more evidence, they can take. Here as well. They can take, sorry. Review the disclosures made. Okay, no problem. Check for the disclosures regarding 5 नहीं 3 मार्क्स ही चाहिए. 3 मार्क्स ही चाहिए. Disclosure whether that is as per the local legislation or not. Okay. Written representation not always work. We need to be very careful while applying it. That's it. Acha, there is audit software as well. We have not done any questions for audit software. Let's do for that so that we can ensure that I've covered everything. Describe the audit software which can be trade payables and accruals. You need to do audit software procedures for trade payables and accruals. Airsoft company purchased raw material from a large number of suppliers. Company's policy is to close the payable account just after the year end. And financial controller is responsible for identifying goods which are per year end, received per year end, but for which no invoice has been yet received. Oh, there is no invoice received. Accrual is calculated for goods received but not yet invoiced. Calculated but not. That is and is included in the trade payables and accruals. Audit strategy identified risk over the completeness. There is issue with the completeness. Trade payable accrual. The audit team will utilize the automated tools and techniques from the audit software while auditing the trade payables and accruals. Tell me, how can you identify that? Hmm? Tell me, any idea? They want completeness. Risk over the completeness. See, if they are not writing it here, they can also ask you. They are not clearly stating it here, but they are clearly stating. Hmm. Software regulation. बताओ बताओ. Very obviously. They want year end, na? Staff. Do you think competence will able to identify whether it's complete or not? Hmm? You think? See, first thing, audit software is used, right? There is a problem that the softwares are not invoiced, right? They are saying particular completeness, and they are saying that the software, the invoices are not invoiced actually. We need to consider that. Okay. So in that scenario, first thing, you'll check how much changes as compared to the last year. Last year, you'll get an idea. The level of trading, the level of ratios decrease, ratios that will show the trade payable. Okay. And also cast the total from the software. Check that with the payable register whether that is same or not. If not, then does not is it it's not complete. Check a sample, take us any sample, whatever the payroll invoices, right? Confirm that whether the same invoice is present in payable balance or not. This will also show completeness. check whether accruals goods received, whatever the GR and goods received note, whether they have been, you recalculate that whether they have been uploaded or not. One more thing, they are only doing year end. The company's policy to close payable just after the year end. Hmm. And what is the year? 1st July. Okay. June, July. Okay, no, no, no. The year end is 30th April. We'll check the balance on the 1st May. Okay. You need to make sure that whatever the balance are from 1st May 25, they needs to be excluded because they are only closing after the year end. Right? That's it. Payables understated, identified payable days. I missed out on this. We missed out on this. Payable days you need to calculate. You can also check the trading levels that is included. Ratios, right? Year to date compare. Comparison. Okay. Tables and accruals listing, check for that. Trade payables and accuracy. Check for the audit software can be, you can use the select representative sample and test the payable balance, recalculate the accrual and whether that same invoice, undertake the cutoff testing for the year end that whatever for the next year that is excluded. That's it. What else? Do you remember which further we left with? Redundancy provision. Redundancy. Hmm. Kale. This is question number 209. Hmm. Just say. Describe substantive procedures auditors should perform to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence in respect of the redundancy cost. Okay, let's give it a read. We'll have to read full scenario. So you can write down, but it's better to read the scenario and then draft so that you will be able to draft exactly on the basis of scenario. Full mark for that. It's 1st July. You're an audit supervisor of Orange and Company, uh, planning of a new client, Scarlett Company. For the year ended 31st May 2025. Scarlett Company manufactures chemical for use of domestic and commercial cleaning products. Okay, this is producing chemical. Okay. The company's financial accountant was taken ill suddenly in May 2025 and is unable to undertake preparation of the year-end financial statement. We can identify that there is a problem with correct representation as well. As a result, company recruited temporary financial accountant who will prepare the draft financial statements. In the year-ended financial statement needs to be finalized quickly as company is looking to raise finance through bank loan to replace 3 machines in the production facility. Bank loan. The bank has asked a copy of audited financial year-end, September agreed loan results for the opening. In the year, also purchased specialized machine, a new range of chemical for major customers. Only same staff are allowed to operate these machines. Staff member had to undertake 2 days training. Following any assessment, by any assessment at the end of the training period, the training cost was 15,000 has been capitalized as a cost of the asset. That's a mistake actually. The company sources many of its raw materials to be used in chemical manufacturing process from international supplier and goods to be transit for up to 3 weeks. Okay. Now, the agreement with the international supplier contains a clause which states that Scarlett Company is responsible for goods as soon as they leave supplier's house. We have carried a preliminary analytical review which indicate the receivable collection period has increased from 38 days to 52 days. Credit controller confirmed some of the currently taking longer to pay from the previous last year and for the customers as well. On 29th May, a director has announced that one of its brands discontinued due to fall in demand. This resulted 4 staff members being made redundant. The payroll department has calculated level of termination costs associated with the redundancy and they will be paid in the July 20x5 payroll run. Okay, next year July. Okay, and they are terminating a brand. Okay, what do you think? इतने से you will get an idea. 2 pointers at least you will be able to identify. Ah, that's mistake. That's mistake. You cannot like that's audit risk. That is audit risk. You need to write down in audit risk section, not in substantive procedure type area. वैसे का आंसर लिखना है ना इसीलिए बताओ इसमें what documents were you able to find out that discontinuing any brand in substantive procedures basically you just need any evidence, right? So check for the supporting evidence how they are why they are discontinuing. Discontinuing will also have board minutes. Check for the board minutes. minutes, right? Check for the any supporting evidence, how they are doing, why they are discontinuing their brands, and how the profit is, because they are saying there's a fall in demand. Check for the comparison as for the last year. True. Last year breakdown, very good, Harsh. Because it's written, right? Four staff members are made redundant. Payroll has calculated termination cost with the redundancy. Check for the redundancy provision whether that is as per the standard or not. Check with the supporting documentation. Check how much is it payable to employee, right? Check for the employee wise as well. How much are they all paid same or different? Okay. Move further. Directors received each significant bonus in the year, which included in the payroll charge for the statement of profit and loss. That's a mistake. Redundancy provision is in P&L. Actually, it should be into. That is an audit risk. You don't need to write down here. Local legislation requires separate disclosure of director bonus in the financial statement. Directors' bonuses, each director wise. Check whether it is as per the local legislation or not. Check whether it's as per the local legislation or not. Check whether the disclosure is as per director wise or not. Confirm their amount. Company sold batch of customers. Customer mix not in line specified, not used in. That's it. Anything else you need? Do you know, is there any specification given for cost? Actually, whatever bonus they paid, that is correctly included in the P&L. No, that's not problem. Sorry, thank you for identifying. Bonus which is paid, that is not included. Bonus cannot be part of redundancy. Termination cost can be a part of redundancy. Okay? Yeah, anything else to find out? Are you able to identify the cost? Hmm? Mm-hmm. Are you identify the cost? If you do not have cost, then what will you do? How will you confirm the cost? Check with the management. Check for the management written representation whether all costs are completely recorded or not. Check whether it is as per the provision standard of IAS 37. Verify it's required as per the standard. That's it. Let's read further. Hmm. Board minutes, because this is a big issue. Board minutes, right? And check decision to continue the chemical brands prior the year, right? Check supporting documentation to continue to confirm the decision is to discontinue was notified to all the members or not. Obtain a detail of redundancy by each employee because they want, and it is recorded in a trial balance and financial statement or not. Calculate the redundancy provision to confirm completeness. Agree the component to cost supporting documentation such as employee contract. One more thing. Yeah. Even for payroll, we'll discuss payroll as well. Huh? Even for payroll, they always have employee contract. Check whether it's as per the employee contract or not. One document we missed out. Right? Agree whether the payment is as per the bank ledger, etc. Everything on that. Whether it is as per the bank ledger, payroll records or not. Compare that all the amount is correctly recorded in provision. Check the written representation for the cost because we are not given any cost. Review disclosure for any of the whether they are complying or not? Nah, redundancy provision will be different. Redundancy provision, all the companies have different. Like that will be on the contract how they pay, not as per the employee salary. It can be in different scenario. Let's say a company is saying that we'll pay you 100% of your salary. It could be that, or it could be a separate amount as well, right? As per the contract. That's why they are not saying this. That's why they are saying employee contract. Okay. Next one is payroll now. Should be given as. Perfect company. Have you done this? Perfect company. Have you done payroll? We left the payroll. Not done. Yeah. All right. We'll do that. No. Even I was looking for that. Oh, there is no question. Not for profit organization. Okay. All right. Chalo. Let's do it. Actually, we did for dog question. We haven't done. कौन से लास्ट वाले क्वेश्चन में? अरे चला गया वो. रुको. ये तो है ही नहीं. It's not present in this. एसॉफ्ट कंपनी था. Just a second. Do you remember the question name? Hmm? Question name Harsh? Trombones. You guys have BPP kit? ये क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है. Hmm. Oh, chalo, let's start. X. Hmm. 167. Yeah. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, Identify kind of frequency. Describe the substantive procedures the auditor should perform at the final audit to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence in relation to the completeness accuracy. Okay, they only want completeness and accuracy of Trommel's payroll expense, and that too only for the 6 months. Okay, all right, let's do for this. Okay, now Trommel Company operates a chain of hotel across the country. Trommel Company employs in excess of 250 permanent employees and year end is 31st August 2085. Okay, 2085. On its first July, you are an audit supervisor. You are currently reviewing the documentation of Trombone Company's payroll system, detailed below, in the preparation of the interim audit. Okay, payroll system. Permanent employees work a standard number of hours per week as specified their employer contract. However, when the hotel hours are busy, staff can be requested by management to work for additional shift on and as an overtime. This can either paid on a monthly basis or taken as a day off. Taken okay. Employee record any overtime worked and day or taken off on weekly overtime sheets. Okay, they can employees record them overtime work and whether taken off days, weekly overtime sheets, which are sent to the payroll department. Standard hours per employee are automatically set up in the system. Automatically, and overtime sheets are entered by clerk. Overtime sheets are there, system are there. These documents need to check for the completeness, right? Completeness and accuracy. See, very easy. Whenever they are saying accuracy, recalculate it. Check total wages, total salaries, recalculate. You'll get an idea. Check with the payroll system, detailed breakdown between your overtime and your normal wages. Okay, check for that. Sample of payroll records, whether that's correct or not. Check for the any employees record, any employees, and check the gross pay and net pay because the system is calculating automatically. Na? That's why. See, whenever there is system, usually mostly, rather than checking in detail, you will be required analytical procedures. Now are entered by clerk payroll package, which automatically calculates the gross and net pay along with the relevant deductions we need to consider. Check what relevant deductions, and the relevant deductions are correct in whether whatever they have deductions they have made, whether that is accounted correctly or not. Weekly overtime sheet as well you can check. Okay, these calculations are not checked. That's a problem. Nah, nah, you cannot. See, you have to tell substantive procedures. Substantive procedures is gonna say, ki, what are the evidence you'll collect? That is a problem. If you identify that, that is a problem of internal control. There is no segregation of duty. Okay, but in substantive procedures, we'll just have to check from the evidence. That's it. Okay, employees are paid monthly basis by bank transfer. Check the bank transfer list. Check the uh, bank statement for the contracted weekly hours for any overtime worked in the check the bank statement, compare that with the weekly hours and overtime total hours in case there is anything missing out which is not accurate, which might not be completely recorded. Sample of joiners and leavers, are they talking about? Let's read further. If they are talking about, then only you can include. Okay. If employees choose to be paid for overtime, authorization is requested by the department for overtime in excess of 30%. The employees choose instead take a day off. Okay, one more thing. Instead of overtime, some employees can also take day off. You also need to check whether day off should be included or not. And you need to check those employees who are taking day off, they are not included in the payroll. Okay. In short, their leaves are included. The payroll clerk should check the back overtime work report. You'll check the overtime work report, which is not always checked. Overtime report details any overtime. True. Bank statement. In run payroll entitlement for authorization, the payroll department asks heads to only report if any errors are required. Department heads required to arrange overtime sheets authorized by alternative responsible if they are aware on annual leave. However, there are instances where arrangement are not occurred. Okay. The payroll package produce a list of payment. Check the list of payment. That list into the bank system. Produce automatic payment. Review the total list paid per employee. If any issues arise, bank can be charged manually and the director. Okay. Yes, you can include in this uh, annual joiners and leavers. Okay, because there are 250 permanent employees and there's a peak period. So there might be a situation, they might have uh, annual joiners and leavers. Check the total wages, salary as per the payroll system, trial balance, investigate the differences. Check the cast the sample of payroll, record that whether complete it is completely recorded or not. For a sample of leavers across a sample of employees, recalculate the gross and net pay. Agree the payroll to confirm the accuracy. Check with that. Check for any statutory deduction, whether it's a correct deduction in the payroll. Compare the total payroll expense to the prior year. How much is the difference, right? Review monthly payroll charge, compare prior year budgets, discuss with the management any significant variance. Everything is similar. Check the proof in total wages, salaries, incorporate any joiners, leavers, and how much is the annual pay increase. Whenever there is a pay, you'll always check for the pay increase, whether the pay increase is correctly recorded or not. Compare the actual wages in the financial statement, check for any differences. Select a sample of joiners, leavers, agree the start leaving date. In payroll, yes, you will include the start and leaving date of the employee. With the supporting documentation, calculate the first, last day packets because it should be as per the date. Like someone joined from second, they should get payment from second only, right? True. Prior year is an analytical procedure. See, whenever you notice this, whenever they are talking about completeness, usually analytical procedures are used. Okay. Agree the total. See, this is also analytical. Total net pay for the payroll records. Check the bank transfer listing. Payment to the bank ledger account. Agree the individual wages and salaries for the payroll personal records for a sample. Check for that. Select a sample of weekly overtime sheets. Check for the overtime payment, payroll records, whether that is completeness, overtime paid or not. Yes. Okay, that's it. Income tax so done. What else have we left with? Hmm? Estimates, depreciation, only depreciation, no? Nothing else? Which question is it? Heron Company. We did Heron Company yesterday only. हाँ परपेचुअल भी आता है, क्यों नहीं आएगा? करना है, करा था ना कल हमने. You wanna do it again? ओह अच्छा, आई एम सो सॉरी, चलो कर लेते हैं फिर. Okay, we'll do it then. Hmm. Yes. Continue, continue. Actually, that's just, this is addition. Addition will a PPE also we can do. If you remember any question for previous means, let's check for addition. Addition करना है ना? Only depreciation. Have time, we can do more questions. करना है? All right. They describe the substantive procedures the auditor should perform to obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence in relation to the matters that are significant regarding Heron Company addition to plant and machinery. Check for the addition to plant and machinery. Okay. So yeah, it's 1st July. You are an audit manager, supervisor of all company, responsible for final audit of the Heron Company. Final audit of Heron Company for the year ended 31st May 2025, which is due to commence shortly. Heron Company is a new manufacturer of color dyes used in textile industry. Its draft financial statement shows total assets of 65.4 million. Profit before income tax is 8.9 million. The following matters have been brought into your attention. Addition to plant and equipment, Heron Company incurred significant asset capital expenditure in the year and it purchased a whole new manufacturing line. Okay, what's the problem actually in the question? What the exactly the addition? What things you need? They purchased a whole new manufacturing line. What do you need? Rights and obligations, huh? Rights and obligation. Purchase deed. Check for the documents. Okay, check for the documents. All costs incurred in purchase and installation of the manufacturing have been recognized as PPE. All cost with non-current assets. The amount was capitalized is 3.6 million, include a purchase price 2.57, delivery and installation of 0.23, refundable purchase tax of 0.5 million, and zero point 0.1 of the incurred training staff on how to operate. What do you think? What's the problem? First thing, see, हाँ टैक्स इंक्लूड नहीं होगा. वेरी गुड. असेट रजिस्टर्ड. सी, गो लाइन बाय लाइन. ठीक है. ऑल कॉस्ट आर इंक्लूडेड इन द सेंस डिटेल्ड कॉस्ट ब्रेकडाउन confirm whether everything is registered and recorded in non-current asset registered correctly or not, confirm whether it's completely recorded or not. Okay. The total capitalized cost is 3.6 million, but there's 2.7 million. Confirm that this price is the correct price with the cost or with the bill. Okay. Check for the 0.3 million installation cost. Check for the invoices for both, huh? Both. Check for the invoices. Check for the Heron name in the bill when you do. Just a second. Let's read further. In addition to 3.6 Heron incurred cost of 0.2 testing the quality. Can this be included? No, that cannot be included. Finance sector also capitalized this cost with the pre-PE. Heron company started using new manufacturing. It has a useful life of 8 years. Yes, very good. Whenever they say useful life 8 years, check for the appropriate why and on what basis they have taken 8 years. Check for the supporting documentation. Okay, depreciation. Also, one more thing. The finance director is saying that this should be inquire with the finance director on what basis they have done, because as per the standard can never be done. Check with that why they have done that. Okay. Yeah, there's a whole production line, right? Check when any asset into the sheet, go there into production line, check whether the same thing is present or not. That will check your existence. Your ending year end at 31st May 2025. Then it's correct. Heron company started using. Okay. One more thing. Started using. Then you need to make sure that the depreciation is only after that date. December. That to 31st in December, not given which data. December, Jan, Feb, March, April, May. Only 6 months depreciation should be recorded. Okay. They're not giving anything for the scrap value. Check for that. Depreciation calculations are done and it's only started when it started to use. These are some pointers. Let's read this. Huh. Check for the basis for capitalization. Check for basis for capitalization of even training cost and fixed cost. Why they have, right? Obtain a schedule breakdown, detailed breakdown. See, actually, you only need 566, five only. Anyways, answered more, right? After that as well, read further. Obtain a detailed breakdown of the cost incurred new manufacturing. Cast the breakdown, confirm it's included non-current, whether it's completely recorded. Check the purchase price. Valid disclosure is there or not? Were they talking about disclosure? Where are they? Hmm? You'll check the disclosure about this correctly disclosed into the financial statement. You'll check for that. Discuss the treatment 0.5 million of finance that should be excluded from the cost, and check for the tax control account, because that is not a capital, that is not the cost you need to capitalize. Request the expense of training cost that is not eligible for capitalization. Check for the general entry whether that has been made or not. Check a detailed breakdown of the cost 0.2 million when testing of the new line. Any supporting documentation. Confirm whether how they are capitalizing that. Check with that. And then select a sample of non-current asset register. Physically verify that whether it's correct or not. Select with the new manufacturing line. Confirm the existence. Discuss with the management the basis for 8-year useful life. On what basis and how they are considering the replacement policy. You can also add on scrap value. What is the scrap value they are considering? Recalculate the depreciation charge, confirm the calculations are correct, and it is time of portion or not. It should be only included after December when the asset was bought in use. Only this much. Only like possible is more. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Which one next? As a perpetual inventory. Pure income. Single procedure. Just a second. Just a second. Sorry, there are no questions. क्या करें अब? Any question? Do you guys know? Shall we do it from ChatGPT then? See, in perpetual inventory count only, if I talk about the general thing, perpetual inventory count is a system, okay? हाँ कर सकते हैं, चलो कर लेते हैं. चलो, out of box. Okay, just give me a minute. 1 minute, ना? I'll be back. ठंडी आ गई आपके वहाँ? मुंबई में तो आ गई होगी। हम्म। दिल्ली में? दस विंटर आ गई। बहुत। हम लोग का हाल ऐसा होता है, हमें लगता है हम फैन ऑन करके बैठेंगे, फिर कम करना पड़ता है थोड़ी देर में, फिर बढ़ाना पड़ता है बार बार। आपके तो लाइक हीटर्स चल रहे होंगे नायरा। अरे रे, टेक केयर भाई। एग्जाम आ रही है एंड आई फील कोल्ड होता है सबसे दिमाग खराब कर देता है। हाँ। अच्छा, नॉट हीटर्स, अच्छा सही है। अहमदाबाद में ऐसे इतनी गर्मी नहीं होती जितनी दिल्ली में होती है। मुंबई में भी आई गेस बहुत ठंडी होती है ना। गर्मी अहमदाबाद में बहुत होती है। मुंबई में हाउ इज द विंटर्स? आई हैव ओनली बीन इन मुंबई व्हेन आई वाज। ठंडी नहीं है ना? हाँ सेम हमारे जैसा हाल है। बारिश होती है बस, बिना बारिश। हाँ, आपका दिल्ली का बहुत बुरा हाल हो जाता है ठंडी में। यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ पॉल्यूशन ना। कफ भी। एयर पॉल्यूशन बहुत कम। ओहो। डिफिकल्ट डिफिकल्ट। हम लोग के इधर बहुत सालों पहले। ओ गॉड। 1000 प्लस। इट्स वे टू मच भाई। इट्स वे टू मच। देन हाउ डू यू डील विद दिस? लाइक अगर आप बाहर भी निकल रहे हो तो आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती? हाउ डू यू डील विद दिस? हाँ। आई गेट अ लॉट ऑफ ऑफर कि दिल्ली आ जाओ मैम पढ़ाने के लिए। आई एम लाइक नहीं नहीं। मेरे को छोटी उम्र में आसमा आ जाएगा। मैं यही बहाने मारती जेन्युइनली। आदत हो गई है। अच्छा, लंग्स आर यूज्ड टू इट। ओके। आप लोगों को अपने लंग्स का इंश्योरेंस लेना चाहिए। हाईवे में से आ जाओ, दिल्ली ब्रांच में। हम अहमदाबाद वालों का थैंक यू सो मच। हम अहमदाबाद वालों के लिए जेन्यूनली बताओ, बाहर अहमदाबाद से निकलना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है। द थिंग इज, फर्स्ट थिंग खाने के इश्यू बहुत होते हैं। लाइक दो आई एम अ राजस्थानी प्रॉपर मारवाड़ी, बट हम लोगों के लिए बाहर निकलना मुश्किल हो जाता है। मुंबई भी बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है। इट्स नॉट अबाउट तीखा, इट्स अबाउट वेज नॉन वेज हम लोग के लिए मुश्किल हो जाता है एक पॉइंट पे। लाइक द वे आई एम बोर्न एंड ब्रॉट अप, हम आई कांट इवन स्टैंड नॉन वेज। शुगर तो हम भी नहीं डालते, मैं तो मारवाड़ी हूँ, दाल बड़ी चूरमा खाते हैं हम तो। आई एम नॉट अ गुजराती, बट इट्स जस्ट दैट द कल्चर। गुजरात तो ड्राई स्टेट है ना। आप लोगों को आके मुश्किल हो जाएगी। आई हैव फ्रेंड्स इन दिल्ली, वो कहते हैं कि भाई गुजरात तो भाई ड्राई स्टेट रहेगा, हम छाछ के नशे करते हैं ना। है। चलो चलो, कभी मिलेंगे। बट is the point is, whenever in case I come to Delhi or even if I meet, how will I recognize you guys? हाँ, कभी कैमरा तो ऑन करते नहीं हो। नायरा को मैं जान पाऊंगी। एंड देयर वाज अ गाय। हाँ, नायरा, अक्षत, हाँ उनको मैं पहचान पाऊंगी। अनामिया को मैं पहचान पाऊंगी। एंड हु, एन से किसी का नाम था ना, और ही इज फ्रॉम मुंबई, उनको मैं पहचान पाऊंगी। बाकी सबको तो मैं कैसे पहचानूंगी? दैट्स व्हाई से कैमरा तो ऑन रखने का। यू नो, लाइक आई एम नॉट अ काइंड ऑफ पर्सन कि मैं देख के इग्नोर करूंगी। देख लिया, ओ हाय, हैव यू मेट? हाँ, पहचान लोगे। सही है सही है, बट नहीं, कैमरा ऑन रखना। लास्ट डे पे यू हैव टू, आई टेक पिक्चर्स। ओके। मैं तो लेती हूँ भाई, आई कीप फॉर मेमोरी। ओके। चलो, लेट्स डू। Now it's 1st July. You are an audit supervisor of Daffodil Company. You are planning an audit of Peony Company for the year ending 30th September 2025. The company is a food retailer with a large network of stores. Okay. Food retailer है, large network of stores है in the country for the four warehouse. Company has been a client for of your firm for several years and the forecast profit before income tax is 28.9 million. Okay. The audit manager has attended a planning meeting with the finance director and provided you, falling with a meeting. Okay, meeting notes देखते हैं. Any internal audit departments undertake control testing, network stores, network of stores. Each store visited at least once in every 18 months. Audit manager has discussed the finance director. External audit may rely on control. During the meeting, finance director some forecast of financial information. Revenue for the year ended expected is 3% as compared to 24. Profit margin is expected to increase from 56 to 60%. The operating profit margin is predicted to decrease from 21% to 18 profit. Acha, okay, one more thing. What does your operating profit include? No, sorry, gross profit include, nahi. Gross profit include purchase, purchase of the inventory. Or do you include something like opening inventory minus the closing inventory? है ना? That's why the perpetual inventory matters. So you need to check the detail of the opening, closing, whether it's correctly recorded or not. And there are total, how many network stores? They are not stating the number, na? At least 18 months. Detailed breakdown of inventory of each store. Each store. Check with the total inventory register. Check with that, okay? Now, Peony Company values inventory in line with the industry practice, which is to use selling price less average profit margin. Okay. Directors consider this to be a close approximation cost. The company does not undertake full year inventory count. Okay. पहले इधर देखो. They're taking check for the reasonable basis. Ask, inquire with the management. Inquire for the basis of this. Okay. Take the written representation because they are telling about this is a close approximation cost. For documentation, check the supporting documentation from the market value, from the market supporting documentation, or also they are also talking about close approximation cost. One more. So close approximation bola na. One more you need to consider. They are saying that this is close approximation. Approximation to cost. एक चीज भूल रहे हो. Actual cost से compare करके देखो. है ना? Because as per the inventory standard, you also very it was easily visible. You have to record your inventory lower of your cost and NRV, right? And the NRV, which is the selling price. Check for the NRV as well, right? The company does not take full year inventory count. Instead, undertake monthly perpetual inventory count. You can consider analytical procedure. Compare current year, last year, right? Monthly perpetual inventory count. Each of which covers 1/12 of all lines, only 1/12 in stores. Don't you think there's a problem? Perpetual inventory count. Check the perpetual inventory count with the total year and inventory count. And check whether everything is correctly, completely recorded or not. As a part of interim audit, which was completed in May, audit junior attended a perpetually and the one of the warehouse and noted that there were a large number of exceptions in the inventory records. Check with the inventory records. Show a higher quantity than the physical inventory. How will you do this? Check for the purchase. No. When there is inventory, what do you write down? Document there is. Naira, do you think this is a substantive procedure? Hmm? यहाँ पे हम तो substantive procedure. Ah, checking how that is correct response for your internal control, but not for your substantive procedure. See, substantive procedure you just need document verification. कहाँ है? इधर लिखा है? ओहो, I'm so sorry. कहाँ लिखा है? 243? 243. Question name? Okay. Okay. Let's check that as well after we are done with this question. Okay. Peanut company? I'll check this, okay? Hmm. Yeah, that's it. Inventory, higher quantity. If that is higher quantity, inspect the what is one document you will always inspect. Always GDN and GRN, both the documents you need to check whether that is correct or not. Okay. Hmm. Check GDN, GRN, or check the whenever they are recording. There's an inventory system as well, perpetual inventory count as well. Check with the supporting documentation whether the GD and GRN are invoiced, GD and GRN are attached, then only included or not. That also you will check. Recurring issue. During the year, perform a non-current asset. हाँ ना we perform dummy entry, that would be your again control. You can't do that. What else I feel? Start, year start and year end. Check for the purchase invoices. Higher quantity could be, there are multiple reasons for higher quantity. First thing, fake dummy GRNs are recorded. Higher quantity, yeah? Without GRN goods are recorded. So you can write down that for whatever the goods received, check for the GRN only, then they are recorded. Or all those GDNs recorded, they are हाँ, you can consider to obsolete inventory. Harsh, देखो, if you do a dummy check, substantive procedure होता क्या है? You're just providing an evidence. समझ रहे हो? In case the question asks you evidence how the internal control system is working, तो आप ये लिख सकते हो कि हाँ, check for the dummy file data. बट आप सोचो ये इंटरनल कंट्रोल नहीं हो गया, आपको कैसे मार्क्स मिलेंगे फिर इस पे, है ना? In GDN as well, you need to record one thing. जो goods dispatch हो चुके हैं, that should be removed, that should be excluded. One more thing, what if there is any third party? हाँ, recommendation हुआ ये. What if any third party? So ensure that third party are not included. Also, one more thing, they are saying they are recording at a cost. If they are recording at a cost, check for the net realizable value of the inventory. True. Internal control का हुआ. Okay, that's it. Anything else you feel like? हो सकता है मतलब आपको कुछ और pointers भी हो. All lines to check for the line by line basis. Suggest the management that it should be done line by line basis. All the perpetual, it should be all the perpetual should be considered. Also check, check whether the reports of warehouse, whole warehouse, that also you can add on. Very good. You can also consider the inventory holding period. Compare that with the last period. Identify the slow moving inventory. Net profit. Holding cost, I'm not including it. See, holding cost, whenever the question says that, it's required to show that, then only. It's not saying it ना, ऐसी inventory की तो बात नहीं कर रहा इसीलिए. It's okay. See, the point is, जितने गलत आंसर देने हो मेरे आगे दे लो. We'll sort out. I mean, we'll correct it. Examiner के सामने वो तो बस marks कट करते हैं. And that's why I want my students to be interactive. That's it. Anything else? Exceptions. Check for the exceptions report. मतलब जितने words दिखे ना उसकी reports निकल निकल के देख लो. You'll get marks for the substantive procedures. Right? Check for the exception report. Discuss the variance with the management. Right? Exception report. Discuss with the financial controller. हाँ लिखा ना हमने IS2 के related. We have written that it should be in one more liner you can add. Ensure that even if it's close approximation, when you confirm that it's nearby cost, and it should be recorded at lower of cost and NRV. Confirm that is as per the IS2 standard. Correct disclosure is made as per the standard. Are they anywhere talking about in the sense as per the IS2 standard? C, the cost they are taking, that they are saying selling price minus the average profit. I'm talking about this. Okay, selling price minus the average profit. Now check for the director is taking that this is a close approximation of the cost. Check for the supporting documentation. Compare the difference between the actual cost and this. Okay. As per this, INRV looks higher, but still you need to confirm. Check for the difference between, check with the NRV as well. You can also ask because there is nothing given, na? And check whether it's as per the IS2 standard or not. You still need to ask, check for the NRV, net realizable value, because they are writing close approximation. What if it's less than that? You need to consider that. समझा? Okay. That's it. Nimesh or Naimesh, someone from Mumbai. Yeah, I remember his face. Okay, all right. What else? Acha, spinach company. We can actually do this. Naina, see. Acha, sufficient. They're talking about the audit procedure. आपने क्या बोला था वो जो लाइन थी? कौन सा वाला किसका करना है बताओ, करते हैं. We are done with all ना. याद करो कोई सब्सटेंटिव तो बाकी नहीं है. हाँ कर सकते हैं हर्ष. Because if you say spinach company, मैम आई वाज चेकिंग दैट इंटरनल कंट्रोल की इफेक्टिवनेस चेक कर सकते हैं। और सब्सटेंटिव प्रोसीजर्स में नहीं, सब्सटेंटिव प्रोसीजर्स देखो ध्यान से समझो। सब्सटेंटिव प्रोसीजर्स में यू नीड एविडेंस। आप कुछ एक्शन नहीं करोगे, आप एविडेंस ही निकाल पाओगे। कैसे करोगे? टोटल चेक करो, ये करो, वो करो। प्रोसीजर्स हो सकता है आपने ऑडिट प्रोसीजर, क्योंकि यहाँ देखो यहाँ पे सब्सटेंटिव प्रोसीजर ऑफ रेवेन्यू पूछ रहा है पहली चीज। फिर द सेकंड थिंग दे आर आस्किंग डिस्क्राइब्स ऑडिट प्रोसीजर। इट कुड बी दैट प्रोसीजर ऑडिट प्रोसीजर। लेट्स सी द आंसर। Okay, okay, yeah, understand that. Where is this? Hmm. इधर दिया ना? They are clearly saying audit procedure. अरे रे, चला गया। हाँ ठीक है, सही बोल। प्रोसीजर्स में है ना, तो प्रोसीजर्स में वेरी हाई चांसेस इंटरनल कंट्रोल। प्रोसीजर्स में तो आप डाल सकते हो whether the controls are working effectively or not. Am I capable of this? Hello, hello, hello. I'm audible. Okay. I'm audible, right? That's just a second. I'm not able to keep my camera on. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I'm so sorry. There was a technical issue. My laptop is impaired because the laptop was not made for recorded sessions. For recordings, now I've used it a lot. So it's completely impaired. Now I'm not able to find out exactly where are you saying because I'm sure this is included in audit procedure because this is not a part of this. See, if I share my screen, wait a second. Okay, see, look at this. Sure, sure, sure. Forward that. But yeah, damn sure this is not a part of substantive procedure so far I know. Okay. Yeah. Harsh, which question you wanna do? You can let me know. Let's take a break and let's do the full-fledged question. Or shall we start with a new chapter? Because we are almost done. Two options. What do you wanna do? New chapter भी आराम से हो जाएगा because it's nothing much. What do you wanna do? New chapter or a question? Your call. Your call, guys. Your call. What do you want? Comfortable in both. Question, the Debyanshu. Then reporting chapter will have to keep tomorrow. Okay? I mean, half day, either works. Okay, let's take a break and then let's decide which question we should do. Okay? Yeah. Hello. Are you guys back? Okay, all right. Let's discuss, let's complete the chapter, I feel, because it's better if we complete the chapter tomorrow and day after tomorrow. We are meeting Thursday and Friday. If we have time, we can continue with one more question. We can take up more questions. And it would be better because of whatever area you find difficult, we'll be able to do that area question. What do you feel? है ना? So that you can revise, you can wrap up everything. Okay. Hmm. Now let's see. Let's do. अच्छा नहीं 10th chapter बाकी ना. Hello, hello. Yeah, I don't know why the Zoom application is having problem. Just a second. Who is the host? Yeah, hi. Simarpreet, can you please make me the host? Wait a second. Meanwhile, let me do something. Just say my camera would be visible. Just a second. Yeah. Zoom. 5. Just a second. Wait. 1 minute. Is it fine if I don't keep my camera on? मतलब यहाँ पे There's some technical issue with I'm using through browser. Is that fine? Okay, okay. Then let me leave from here. Okay, let's continue. Okay, yeah. One second. Screen is visible, na? Acha, sorry. Okay. Okay, all right. Chalo, let's start. I'm so sorry. Let's see with this. So we're gonna start with a new chapter, that is completion and review. In this chapter, what work towards the end auditor need to consider, what management needs to consider, how they'll evaluate, and while final evaluation, what all matters needs to be considered. We are gonna do everything over here. Okay, what are the written representation, why, on what area they need to do. Now, towards the completion of the audit, whenever there's a completion, the auditor need to check overall review towards the completion. Overall review, they can do analytical procedures, check the ratios, compare, check any whether the differences are correctly identified or not. Check that. Any subsequent event. Do you know subsequent event? IS10, IS10 standard. Okay. See, as per the IS10, subsequent event after the reporting period, this is a standard. Okay. Let me show you this. This is the start of the period. This is the end of the period, end of the accounting period. Start and the end. And after the end, auditor will check the statement. So during this period, auditor will check. So audit report sign. And this is period published. Okay. So if I consider any event after the year end into this duration, which had impact into this period. I mean, any event after this are known as subsequent event. Subsequent event. Now, in subsequent event, there are two types: existing and non-existing. Existing are the kind of event which has the conditions present, some hint present. Acha, if I tell you an example, if you don't study now, will you able to clear audit? If you don't study now, will you be able to clear audit? No, sure. Wait, no. Then you cannot say that it happened out of sudden. No, no, no. You didn't study. That's how you failed to clear. You failed audit basically. That's a adjusting event. In the sense, the conditions were present. If I give you a real example, let's say there is a debtor. Oh no, there's a debtor who is not paying you on time, and the debtor wasn't paying your time on time, and to after the year end you got to know that you need to the bad debt write off bad debt. Then don't you think it was the condition was already present? You could have checked that in the last year only. Because if you check any event after this period, This falls under the second accounting period. So those which are adjusting events, that will be adjusted into previous year accounting. Those who are non-adjusting event, those will be considered over here. Let's say non-adjusting event, if there's a fire happening, theft happening, was it planned? Nothing planned. So all the problems will be shown here. If I talk about, let's say if they are issuing dividends, which year will it fall? Dividend. This year it will have impact. uh, Dividend after the year end, they get an idea. This year they'll have impact, in the sense that is a non-adjusting event. Okay, understood the difference between adjusting and non-adjusting? Adjusting any event which has some hints present. Let's say there's an insurance claim, or let's say there's a warranty provision. You haven't recorded it, but you later on, after that, you find out that you have to pay for the warranty. So it was adjusting event. You never recorded. Management failed to record it. That's why. That's a lack of management. आया समझ? It has impact on the financial statement. Okay, that's it. Now, if I talk about why do you need to study? You need to study this because any event, if auditor find out during this period, auditor has an active responsibility. And in this period, after the audit report is signed, it has a passive responsibility. Okay. Though they will check that, they'll check the going concern issues as well. In during this year, if they identify there's a going concern issue. Okay. Always these financial statements are prepared on the going concern basis. Going concern basis means the company will continue even after the end of the financial year, 12 months after that, for foreseeable future. That is a going concern. Okay, that's a going concern. When there is a going concern issue, it means that the company will fail to continue. Company won't be able to continue. How? How can it be possible? Acha, do you remember Subway mein there was a claim, but in India it's allowed. Do you remember ORS का भी claim हुआ था? याद है? अगर ORS, only if they are selling multiple products, right? So only if they are selling this ORS product, then that's a going concern issue. Auditor need to identify that. Okay, that's a going concern issue. And if they identify during this period, they will amend the statement. Change the opinion, audit opinion. If the management does not tell this, if the management is showing that, then they will add into key matter paragraphs. There are different paragraphs. We'll study into next chapter. We'll consider that as well. Okay. During this situation, when the audit report is signed and the reports are just to be published, okay, in case the auditor find out that they do not have active responsibility, in the sense they cannot collect evidence right now, but they can ask the management to consider the edited report or consider any edited files. Understood? That's a going concern. Now, in the sense, during the completion and review, auditor need to check whether there is going concern or not, whether all the misstatements are evaluated, all the written representation, whatever, wherever required, correct, taken or not, those all things they need to check. They also need to check whether the financial statements are following the legal standards or not. Are they consistent with the knowledge of the business knowledge, in the sense, let's say the chairman is saying something else and the company is saying something else. It shouldn't be situation. Okay. Quality of audit work is as per the standard or not. Towards the end, they'll do everything. Appropriate accounting policies are followed or not. Financial statements give true and fair view. You need to check firm's procedures have been followed or not. Everything you will consider. Okay. Now, after the work of audit done, you need to check. Audit review will be done. Now, reviewer will check has the work is accordance with the standard, professional legal requirement, because all companies have a different requirement. And whether that is as per their company's requirement, okay. You need to check all the significant matters that might have been that, whether all are considered or not, consideration have taken, appropriate consultation is taken or not during the audit. This is at the time of the review. EQR, right? At that stage. Is there a need to revise the nature timing? If there is any significant change, is there a need to revise the audit plan? Does the work performed the same as the conclusion reached? You need to check. Is the work appropriately documented? Whether you have done or not, whether all working papers are documented appropriately or not, you need to check that. Check the evidence, whether sufficient appropriate evidence have obtained or not. Whether management has fulfilled the objective of not whatever the engagement objectives were, whether they were fulfilled or not, you need to check that. Okay. If I talk about any evaluation with a misstatement, an evaluation with a misstatement, all the identified errors should be recorded on a working paper, setup purpose. So yeah, whatever the misstatement, all should be recorded in the working paper. Working papers are to be kept for how many years? 5 or 7? 5 or 7? Very good. 5 years. So yeah, you also need to check whether the working capitals are kept for 5 years or not. Individual material error, whether they are considered or not, whether aggregated, corrected or not, you need to check that. Management should be requested all identified material misstated. Management need to, you can request the management to correct all. Any uncorrected misstatement, you can you can talk with those charged with governance. This is the same thing. If you identify a problem, ask the management to change it. If they deny, discuss with those charged with governance. Even if they deny, change your opinion. Okay, audit opinion. Adjust your audit opinion. Depends on the materiality level. That's it. Now, this is the adjusting and non-adjusting event. Adjusting trade receivables, that is adjusting. Now, after the year end, if you identify that is the irrecoverable debt, bad debt, then you should have identified that for the year only due to management lack of provision, or they might have not done that. It could be possible. Inventory is less. You also need to check that. Estimate is revised. You can go back and change the statement. Okay. Any non-adjusting event, this will have it will have no impact in the last financial year for the audit they are going to provide. But next year, there is going to have impact, because if there is a destroyed inventory, you need to consider write down the inventory. Injury, legal action after the year. Okay, legal action after the year end. This is a year end date. Start. Any legal action took at this point, you don't know whether you have to pay or not, whether that's possibility or not. If that's possibility, you need to show contingent liability. If there is probability, you need to show as a provision, insurance provision, or whatever the legal action provision you need to make, right? In between, if there's a legal action taken any point of time and right now you don't know whether you have to pay or not, you will consider the IS 37 provision standard. But any legal action taken after this date, that cannot be an adjusting event. मतलब how would you know? Understood? समझ आ रहा है? Any takeover as well, you'll not include. Okay? So yeah. Now they need to ensure that auditor report must be up to date. Audit report, auditor must watch out. The auditor need to check all the subsequent event. Or there's no obligation to perform audit procedures after the report. The same thing. See this diagram. See, after the audit report has been signed from this period to this period, okay, there's no obligation for an auditor to perform any detailed substantive testing. But here the auditor needs. It's just that thing they are telling. Okay. And in case still they identify any problem, they can ask the management to change. Now, procedures involved at towards the end, inquire and discuss with the management, review the board minutes, any subsequent event, any subsequent insurance claim, anything, review the board minutes, check for the written representation, review for the budget, normal procedure, check how the after date cash receipts are done, cut off testing done correctly or not. You need to check for that. All these issues. Okay. And now coming on to going concern. Is there a list given? Hmm. Explain this whole thing here only. See, the financial statements are always prepared on the going concern basis. Always. Okay. It means company will continue for foreseeable future. Foreseeable future, as per the definition, is 12 months after the year end. 12 months after the year end. Let's say 12 months is 31st December 25. If the company will still continue after 2026, that's a going concern thing. Company always prepare the going concern basis financial statement. Now, in case there's a going concern issue, company will go into liquidation or company is facing any problem, the financial statement will be prepared on what basis? ये तो पता होना चाहिए. Check, testing your knowledge. What basis? Pakka? If the company know that they will not survive, here the company know they will survive. If the company know they will not survive, then what basis? Very good, very nice. Breakup basis. Breakup basis in the sense whatever the liquidation or how much penalty they have to pay, whatever the time, or I mean, whatever the cost they need to incur when liquidation, they need to consider, make the financial statement on that basis. That's it. Okay. Now you logically think, what are the going concern issues? See, a very obvious thing. Let's say if I have to pay 1 crore within a year or 1 crore after 10 years, which will cause a going concern issue. In which scenario I'll have to stop my business, sell my business? बताओ. कौन सा scenario problematic है? 1 year wala, right? So any net current liability, if there's a huge current liability, that's a going concern issue. Okay. Or let's say there is no further borrowing facility, that's a going concern issue. Or let's say there is all the assets in the company, if their assets are taken as a collateral, going concern issue. Why? Because any short-term cash flow problem as well, you cannot sell your assets, going concern issue. Cash flow problems, going concern issue. Substantial operating losses, going concern issue. You won't be able to survive. Inability to pay debt, tax prepayment, see, inability to pay debt, going concern issue. And if you fail to pay tax, going concern issue. In case there is a key management loss, going concern issue. Key supplier loss, going concern issue. Key customers loss, going concern issue. Don't maga. See, let's say XYZ institution. If XYZ institution is my only client, okay, no, I have two clients, XYZ and ABC. Okay. ABC business gives me 10% revenue and this gives me 90% revenue. And this is for sure. This is only on the, let's say once in a year or somewhere or twice in a year, right? Then which company will affect me? If this company goes liquidation, will it affect? Or ABC goes into liquidation, will that affect? Batao. XYZ company. If that goes under liquidation, I'll be affected. My whole business will be affected. Okay, that's the thing. Now, if I talk about my supplier, you might think supplier तो हम change कर सकते हैं. Yes, true. Supplier तो हम change कर सकते हैं. But the problem is, let's say, if I'm getting if let's say I'm preparing bottle, okay, or acha, tab, okay, writing pad. So if I'm preparing writing pad, my company is a writing pad company. What are the raw material suppliers? Right now, the supplier is not going to supply me anything due to the issue of credit. Let's say I'm not paying on time. Then my end customer will not get goods on time. That's why I'll fail. Yes, monopoly can also be considered. Okay. If I go to new customer and I have a cash flow problem, will will the new supplier give me credit terms? Problem. Going concern issue. Okay. These are some hidden ways. Now, typical audit procedure: check for review for forecast post year end, review pre-year end, check for the trend analysis, review correspondence with the major customer in case there is any dispute. Okay, one more thing. In case there is a legal dispute, that can also cause a going concern issue. Discuss that with the discuss with the customer. Okay, check the correspondence from the bank for whether they'll get further finance or not. Or if yes, then like going concern issue can be relayed. Okay. Okay, in exam, you'll get different type of questions as well. That whether the going concern issue is causing right now or not. So some questions will say that if this situation does not happen, there's a question. Uh, in exam kit only, this case study is like that. Company wants to raise for an IPO. If the company does not get an IPO, that's going to be a going concern issue. The same question, that's not an exam kit. Your test your understanding in your study text. More company question. Okay, it has that if the company does not fail to raise the IPO, they will not get the cash. Instead, the company will have a going concern issue. But you cannot write down now. That's a significant issue, matter of concern. So in audit report, you will state that in the matter of concern paragraph. Okay, that's not going concern issue is not happening now. Okay, that you will bring for a concern. That there is a concern, significant issues you need to focus on. Shareholders, okay? Now, yes. Also, one more thing. Now, what do you think? Whose responsibility is there to identify the company is going concern or not? Management. Very good. It's a management's responsibility to see that the company's financial statements are prepared on the basis. Management's responsibility to identify whether the company is going concern or not. Okay. But auditor's responsibility is only to check the issues. Auditor cannot be blamed. Now, in case of any going concern issue, they can also, legal case, they can also check for the lawyers. Going concern is a big issue, any big issue, board minutes. Okay. Written representation that they believe companies are going concern. These are some areas. If I talk about written representation, wherever written representation, management will say something. Auditor should consider wherever possible, they can take the management representation letter. Any conflict, any issue of competence, integrity, ethical value about the management person or any other outsider party or the valuer, they can go for a written representation. Any concerns over, huh, over in case they have regarding the auditor as well, they can withdraw from the audit. If the auditor cannot withdraw, a disclaimer opinion should be given. If the written representation is not achieved, management does not give you written representation, you can issue disclaimer opinion as well. अच्छा, in this chapter, opinions are not discussed. इसके बाद वाले chapter में ना, we can discuss now. It's fine. Table is very well. This table is very good. Yeah, the same table. See, I'll talk about there are different type of opinions. See, if an issue is not material but pervasive in the sense not pervasive, not affecting major transaction, other transaction, that is not pervasive. Pervasive is that is affecting multiple transaction. Okay? Pervasive, affecting multiple transactions. Right? That is pervasive. Now, if there's an error that is materiality level is there crossed, but yeah, that's not a pervasive error in the sense nothing else is affected. So, except for opinion, qualified opinion can be given. In this, the wording would be except for this document, everything else gives true and fair view. If the error is material and pervasive and there's a misstatement, I'm talking about error, which is misstatement, then you can give, auditor will give adverse opinion. See, if not material and if the management is not giving opinion, not getting proper evidence, then also unmodified opinion if it's not material. If it's material, the evidence is not given, then except for wording will be used. Okay. If the particular thing is material as well and pervasive as well, then you need to consider disclaimer opinion. So if I go back, if the management is not ready to give written representation, auditor can issue written disclaimer opinion where he will use this wording. See, financial statement does not give true and fair view. Here, they will not express any opinion. In the sense, as audited, actually, unmodified financial statement gives true and fair view as per the audited for the year ended, audited for the year ended XYZ year will be given. Here, they'll say that the financial statement, they'll not use the word audited. Instead, they'll say that they were engaged in audit. And then they'll issue disclaimer opinion. Wordings also matter. Okay? Because in legal case only it matters. See. समझ आया ना? Okay. Now, yeah, similar consideration, management refused to provide auditor can again avoid doing that. Now, where the management representation matters are required for general matters, like prepare financial statements are prepared as per the reporting standard, management written representation. Auditor provide that it has provided all the relevant information, access to records that will include that. All transactions are reflected, what are the transactions they have recorded, reflected in the financial statement, written representation. In case of any specific matter, let's say where there is a use of judgment. Judgment, Do you remember the last question we did? Management is taking fair value minus any cost, or matlab close estimation wala. What basis they have taken the judgment? You'll check for the written representation. What are the, whether the provisions give correct or not, whether the provisions are providing complete or not, you'll check that. But that is a particular product as a product in line is going to continue or not separately. In case you have doubt into that, you can take that. Plans or intentions of any asset, whether that's going to affect or not, that thing. And any matters required by ISA standard, in the sense they need to know, management, the auditor need to ask from the management that all the known suspected frauds have been communicated to the auditor, that they will by default have this. Okay, all the instance of non-compliance, in case there is any non-compliance, they would have told to the auditor, they have reported. So in case the management says that the auditor haven't identified, then they will have a written representation that you only say that it was presented. So how can we rely? Right? That's the thing. Management believes that the effects of uncorrected misstatements are immaterial. That can also be considered. All the subsequent events have been communicated. That will also be included. All going concern have been communicated. That all written written representation letter will include matters. All the matters will be included. Samara, got it? Right. Shall I move further? Oh. See. Now coming on to reporting chapter. Reporting chapter type of review done. See, there are two types of report. एक तो report those charged with governance and one is audit report. Okay, in audit report one more thing. If a company does not issue financial statement or integrated report, it will not have audit report by default. Okay, audit report, auditors should sign that. That is an audit report. That financial statements give about opinion about the financial statement. Okay, in report there is a title which your who is the addressee, shareholders, auditor's opinion, which opinion, okay, basis for opinion, a paragraph, auditor opinion, whether the auditor disclaimer opinion or whether adverse opinion, basis for in opinion, they'll just replace the basis for disclaimer opinion. Key audit matter only for listed client only, that is required. Other information, which are general information, that will be included. Responsibility of management will be there. Auditor's responsibility, other reporting responsibility through whom other reporting lines, name of the engagement partner, signature, auditor address, and date will be also there. Okay. There are multiple other areas as well. जैसे कि for example, see, for example, additional communication an auditor can do apart from that. Let's say there is a material uncertainty relating to the going concern, that will also include it. So any uncertainty regarding the going concern, whether directors have made adequate disclosure, but you remember the example which I've told, if they get an IPO, if they get shares, money for the shares, then there is no going concern issue. If they do not, then there is a going concern issue. So material uncertainty, they'll have separate paragraph into that they will ask that. I mean, they will mention that. Okay. Someone had doubt in reporting chapter, na?
Yes.
Pradeep. Okay. Hmm. And then emphasis is on matter. Emphasis on matter is anything which auditor wants a separate attention to be drawn. Let's say there is any contingent liability or any uncertainty. Let's say there is a legal claim, okay, which is a very big legal claim, but it's contingent. If it gets successful, then you are likely to lose the business. Emphasis on matter. Okay. Other matter, the paragraph, like how's the auditor's responsibility, if like not related to the financial statement, usually it will have any, if let's say chairman is giving any other statement. Okay. If that's a problematic, other matter paragraph will have that. Okay. And then key audit matter. Key audit matter in the sense where the auditor is taking judgment. See, every company, not all companies will have the same basis of the judgment. For example, if I talk about, do you remember the cheese example? Tom and Jerry will have cheese. Rice example. Hmm? Rice, if I talk about, see, judgment, different judgment is required. Rice example, you always use 1 year old rice. But companies do keep the new rice as well. So there are different type of inventory. Now, 1-year-old rice can also be my inventory. In fact, 2 years old rice are better than that. So that is also my inventory. So that is a key audit matter. That auditor's judgment was required. Auditor took a judgment. All those matters will be considered over here. And that will also be communicated to those charged with governance. Okay. Now, significant risk of material misstatement, areas of judgment or areas of any significant event or transactions where auditor took a judgment, key audit matters, they will write down, mention down in this. समझ आया?
Ma'am, in case if auditor suggests something to change in the balance sheet, if management does not perform it, if management does not solve this, so what could be the possible disclosure, and in which paragraph auditor will highlight this area?
Okay. See, first thing, if the particular area is material, okay. If it's not material, then management other information they can highlight it, okay, or emphasis on matter paragraph. No, other matter would be better.
If
Sorry,
not,
sorry, emphasis on matter. Sorry.
if not, if it is not material, then the emphasis of matter.
Matter paragraph, okay. But if it's material, and the management is not disclosing, then you will change the opinion and basis for opinion paragraph. Okay, if it's pervasive, material and pervasive, adverse opinion or disclaimer, basis for opinion paragraph. Cool.
If
Your
if
voice
material
is cracking, Pradeep.
if material is not pervasive,
If it's material but not pervasive, then you need to give, the auditor will give qualified opinion, except for, and in basis for qualified opinion, they'll state this issue, except for situation. Okay, why they
if
have
it
this?
is material, if it is material, so it will come in which para?
Two things: material but not pervasive, qualified opinion, basis for opinion paragraph. On what basis? The management is not correcting it. That's why. And if it's material and pervasive, adverse opinion and disclaimer opinion. Again, basis for matter paragraph. Oh, sorry, basis for opinion paragraph. Pradeep, why do I feel you get confused between these two? Are you confused between these two?
या मतलब ये क्वेश्चंस बहुत बार आता है तो मोस्टली मेरा रॉन्ग ही होता है इंटरप्रिटेशन जो मैं
मैं समझ
सोचता हूँ
मैं
जो
समझ
सॉल्यूशन में रहता है.
बहुत इजी वे से एक चीज हमेशा याद रखो. देखो, see, there are three situations. Any error that is not material, any error that is material but not pervasive, pervasive in the sense not affecting other transactions. Okay, in case there is a legal claim that's not affecting another transaction. Any error that is material as well and pervasive as well. Let's say inventory, or let's say purchase, or let's say bank balance. This is gonna affect the other transactions as well. So, huh, it's not possible. Lisa, it's not possible. Not material and pervasive, then it's, see, if it's material, then only you'll consider. If it's not material, then you'll again unmodified opinion. Okay. See, in case of misstatement and no evidence. No evidence. Okay. If it's not material, unmodified opinion. Basis for opinion, true and fair view, nothing will happen. In case there is a problem and then emphasis on meta paragraph, we can say, sorry. When this is the particular thing is other meta paragraph, usually तो बताते ही नहीं है, because usually they'll never say this because material ही नहीं है, right? But if it is a material, then they'll issue a qualified opinion for both the scenario. Here, lack of evidence, and here it is error. Okay. Except for will be the wording. Except for these document, everything gives true and fair view. In basis for qualified opinion, they will issue it. Okay?
So, ma'am, when they provide when there is a material but not pervasive, so qualified opinion will be given, and
qualified.
and the paragraph written that the financial statement are giving true and fair view of the company, except for
these, the other statements does give true and fair view. Okay?
okay. and the matter going to be discussed in the basis for qualified opinion.
हाँ, बेसिस पर मैटर करेगा.
Okay.
हाँ, अनक्वालिफाइड एंड अनमॉडिफाइड रिपोर्ट सेम wordings are same. Actually, see, this is unqualified, and these are considered as a qualified. Sorry, modified report. Sorry, modified. These two. In modified qualified opinion, when the error is not pervasive, not affecting any other thing. If it is affecting, error is affecting adverse, if there's a mistake, if there's a lack of evidence, disclaimer that they are not getting, they have not done audit. In short, they'll state that. ठीक है? अब है समझ? And any issue, matter for reason for
ये
disclaimer.
वाला तो समझ गया, बट एक और बार आप नीचे का जो एडिशनल कम्युनिकेशन ये बता देते इसमें एक्चुअल में क्या.
हिंदी में बता देती हूँ, ठीक है? डिस्कस इन इंग्लिश, शांति से सुनना. अगर देखो, मैंने आपको आईपीओ का इश्यू बताया. अगर कंपनी चाहती है कि आईपीओ इश्यू करे, आईपीओ मतलब शेयर्स इश्यू करे पब्लिकली, शेयर इश्यू करेगी, अगर उसे पैसे मिल गए कंपनी को, तो कंपनी सर्वाइव कर जाएगी. अगर कंपनी को पैसे नहीं मिले, तो कंपनी के पास है तो अभी कैश फ्लो प्रॉब्लम, मेजर कस्टमर चला गया, उसका जो मेजर एम्प्लॉय था वो भी चला गया. ये तो चीज है गोइंग कंसर्न इश्यू. बट कंपनी प्लान कर रही है आईपीओ डालने का. अगर कंपनी को आईपीओ मिल गया तो अच्छी बात है, अगर नहीं मिला तो दैट्स अ गोइंग कंसर्न इश्यू. पर कंपनी ने क्या करा है, अप्रोप्रिएट डिस्क्लोजर करा है. अभी आईपीओ तो वो नेक्स्ट ईयर लाने वाले हैं, हम उसका प्रेडिक्शन अभी कैसे करेगा, ऑडिटर अभी तो नहीं कर पाएगा, राइट? So that is a matter for going concern. You will state, auditor will state कि हाँ ये फ्यूचर पर डिपेंड करता है. ओके? If I talk about emphasis on matter paragraph, let's say कोई litigation claim है. लिटिगेशन क्लेम ऐसा है कि अगर वो सक्सेसफुल हो गया, दैट इज ओनली पॉसिबल होता है, उसको आप कंटिजेंट लायबिलिटी शो करते हो. कंपनी ने अच्छे से डिस्क्लोजर करा है, बट इफ द कंपनी फेल्स, लिटिगेशन क्लेम फेल हो गया, तो कंपनी विल स्टॉप. दैट इज एम्फेसिस ऑन मैटर. और प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगी, अगर वो स्टॉप हो जाएगी, कंपनी काम करना स्टॉप हो जाएगी, लाइसेंस कैंसिल हो जाएगा, जैसे ओआरएस वाली सिचुएशन, तो अनसर्टेनिटी. अगर उसका कोई मेजर लॉस हो जाएगा, तो एम्फेसिस ऑन मैटर पाएगा. लॉजिकली सोचो, कंपनी बंद कैसे होगी, अगर बंद होगी तो अनसर्टेनिटी, अगर उसका मेजर लॉस होगा तो एम्फेसिस ऑन मैटर पैराग्राफ. ठीक है? अदर मैटर पैराग्राफ में क्या कहेगा, लेट्स से मैनेजमेंट कुछ अलग बातें कर रहा है. सपोज ऐसा हो कि रिलायंस की बोर्ड मीटिंग में चेयरमैन आके, रिलायंस मुकेश अंबानी आके बोल दे कि आर प्लानिंग टू एक्सपैंड, बट उनके फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट तो 2 and 5 फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में तो कैश फ्लो क्रंच है. नाउ यू थिंक, ज्यादातर लोग किसका वर्ड ऑफ माउथ पे बिलीव रखते हैं, तो उनके बात पे जाएंगे, इसीलिए अदर मैटर इधर भी डालेंगे. ठीक है? और इफ मैनेजमेंट वांट्स टू कम्युनिकेट एनीथिंग, इधर डाल देंगे. ठीक है? फिर आता है की ऑडिट मैटर. की ऑडिट मैटर में क्या आता है, जैसे कोई पर्टिकुलर जजमेंट, एक एरिया का जजमेंट बेस्ड ऑन द पास्ट प्रैक्टिस और बेस्ड ऑन द एक्सपीरियंस, अगर उन्होंने जजमेंट लिया है, दे विल टेक दैट. रिस्क ऑफ की मटेरियल स्टेटमेंट, रिस्क है, अभी नहीं है बट रिस्क है, दे विल स्टेट दैट. area of judgment, they'll state that. Any significant or event or transaction which happened, but that's not a material. अगर कोई significant event हुआ that wasn't material, that can also be matter over here, key audit matter. Okay? If I talk about other information में anything related to non-finance, shareholder, chair statement, director's report, that it must auditor ने just इसमें auditor की active responsibility नहीं है, auditor को बस एक बार देखना है. Okay, that it must be having consistency between both. Any other information received before the date of audit report, separate section should be included. Other information in this, in case there is any other information before audit reports finalized, then they should have other information, all the details should be there. Any information prior to the date of audit report should be given. State that auditor has not audited this, you'll say that. हाँ प्रदीप बोलो.
फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक सिचुएशन आया कि कंटिजेंट लाइबिलिटी हम लोग को मिलने वाली है, बट उसका करेक्ट डिस्क्लोजर हम लोग के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में मैनेजमेंट ने नहीं डाला, तो ये की मैटर पैराग्राफ में भी आ जाएगा ना ये चीजें.
नहीं, ध्यान से सुनो. अगर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में नहीं डाला एंड दैट इश्यू इज नॉट मटेरियल, तो फिर आप उसको हाँ एम्फेसिस मैटर पैराग्राफ में डाल दोगे. अगर फाइनेंशियल डिस्क्लोजर अगर वो मटेरियल है, और परवेसिव नहीं है, तो फिर बेसिस फॉर ओपिनियन, ओपिनियन में जाओगे, क्वालिफाई ओपिनियन, ठीक है, मॉडिफाई द ओपिनियन। अगर वो परवेसिव भी है तो एडवर्स ओपिनियन। एम्फेसिस में भी, नहीं एम्फेसिस में नहीं डालोगे फिर, क्योंकि वो एक बार हो गया ना, अगर डिस्क्लोज नहीं कर रहा है मैनेजमेंट।
इन ये चारों में तो अगर डिस्क्लोज नहीं करा तो ये सब इसमें नहीं आएगा क्या कुछ भी?
सुनो ध्यान से समझो, यहाँ पे क्या होता है, एम्फेसिस में मैटर पैराग्राफ में अगर कोई पर्टिकुलर थिंग डिस्क्लोज कर दिया है, बट वहां पे शेयर होल्डर का ध्यान होना जरूरी है, वो आते हैं। अगर आप ये बोल रहे हो कि मैनेजमेंट डिस्क्लोज ही नहीं कर रहा है, तो ये मिसस्टेटमेंट हो गया ना। अगर ये मिसस्टेटमेंट है और ये मटेरियल मिसस्टेटमेंट है, तो फिर एज पर दिस वो क्वालिफाई कर देंगे ना, क्वालिफाइड ओपिनियन इश्यू होगा ना, इसीलिए।
हाँ, समझा।
हाँ मेजर इश्यू, हाँ हर्ष वो भी आता है। की जजमेंट, एनी मेजर सिग्निफिकेंट इवेंट और ट्रांजैक्शन, कोई प्रॉब्लम हुई ऑडिट करते टाइम। हाँ
और
मटेरियल नहीं है, एम्फेसिस ऑन
की
मैटर
मैटर
पैराग्राफ।
पैराग्राफ लिस्टिंग कंपनी के लिए मतलब इम्पोर्टेंट है।
हाँ लिस्टेड कंपनी के लिए, हाँ मैटर पैराग्राफ, ठीक है। फिर अदर इन्फॉर्मेशन में चेक स्टेटमेंट, स्टेट द ऑडिटर हैज नॉट ऑडिटेड। अच्छा अदर इन्फॉर्मेशन में ये भी बोलेंगे कि उन्होंने अदर इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं करा है, उनका वो कंसिडर नहीं करा है। डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑडिटर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, स्टेट दैट ऑडिटर हैज नथिंग टू रिपोर्ट इन केस ऑफ मटेरियल मिसस्टेटमेंट, एवरीथिंग विल बी रिपोर्टेड, ओके। वन मोर थिंग, मैंने आपको एक डेट बताई ना, इनकेस ऑडिट रिपोर्ट इश्यू करने के बाद, फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट इश्यू करने के बाद, इनकेस देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम, देन मैनेज ऑडिटर कैन आस्क टू री इश्यू, चेंज और री इश्यू अपडेटेड वन। कोई मेजर इश्यू आया, गोइंग कंसर्न इश्यू बाद में पता चला है बाहर से, एंड इफ इट्स रियली प्रॉब्लमेटिक, ऑडिटर कैन आस्क फॉर, ठीक है। इधर नहीं है बट हाँ, ऑडिटर कैन आस्क फॉर अपडेशन और सेकेंड टाइम इश्यू द स्टेटमेंट, दैट्स इट। अच्छा डन। एनी डाउट्स? रीड करना है एक बार, चैप्टर रीड करना। अभी आपने कर लिया ना, एक बार चैप्टर रीड करना, अच्छे से समझ आ जाएगा, बिकॉज द थिंग इज उसमें एग्जाम्पल अच्छे से दिया है। देखो बात ऐसी है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी तो पैसिव हुई, ठीक है, पैसिव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, बट अगर वो प्रॉब्लम बड़ी है, तो ऑडिटर के पास इतनी पावर है कि वो जाके कह सकता है मैनेजमेंट, उसके ऊपर कोई ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं है, अगर वो नहीं करता उसके ऊपर कोई ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं है। बट अगर उसे दिख रहा है कि ये मेजर गोइंग कंसर्न इश्यू और द कंपनी इज नॉट गोना सर्वाइव और मेजर प्रॉब्लम है, वो जाके रिवाइज स्टेटमेंट इश्यू करवा सकता है। That's it. एक बार ये चैप्टर जाके पढ़ लेना, लास्ट चैप्टर पढ़ना स्टडी टेक्स्ट से, ओके। ये सुनो, दैट्स इट गाइस, एनीथिंग एल्स? यू आर वेलकम नायरा। मैनेजमेंट रिफ्यूज कर देता है तो रिपोर्ट डालने से, दो स्टार्ट विद गवर्नेंस से बात कर सकते हो, और जिसके ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है वहां पे भी कर सकते हो डिस्कस, इन द सेंस जैसे मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग इश्यू आ गया तो वहां कर सकते हो, ऑडिटर पब्लिक स्टेटमेंट भी दे सकता है। नहीं रिपोर्ट ड्राफ्ट नहीं करना है। डिस्क्लेमर कैसे दोगे आप, समझो ना, रिपोर्ट तो, ऑडिट रिपोर्ट तो ऑलरेडी इश्यू हो चुकी है, ठीक है, उसके बाद पता चला है। हाँ वो ये बोल सकते हैं ना आपको बोला, अगर मैनेजमेंट करे तो। बाद में पता चला कि भाई एम्प्लॉयज ने फ्रॉड करा है, मनी, विसल ब्लोअर ने बाद में आके बताया, तो वो सब आ सकता है इसीलिए। कंपनी के लास्ट फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में फ्रॉड था बड़ा वाला, तो ये बाद में पता चलता है, ये बड़े मैटर्स होते हैं, बहुत बड़े मैटर्स, तो यहाँ पे तो पब्लिक प्रेस भी आ जाती है, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट टू का स्केड्यूल, मॉक। हाउ डू वॉट मॉक आपको कैसे चाहिए, मैं ड्राफ्ट करूं या फिर मैं आपको समझाऊं? इफ आई ड्राफ्ट वन मॉक, इफ आई एक्सप्लेन टू मॉक कैन बी डन, टोटली अप टू यू। एक्सप्लेन, एवरीवन एक्सप्लेन, मेरे को तो दिक्कत नहीं है। ओके देन वी कैन डू, विल ट्राई टू डू टू मोर पॉसिबल, शायद विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट, क्योंकि 2.5 आवर का सेशन है। नॉट पॉसिबल। आई कैन ड्राफ्ट, देखो ड्राफ्ट होता क्या है पता है, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं पेपर लिख रही हूँ, आई हैव टू एक्सप्लेन एज वेल। तो जब भी ड्राफ्टिंग सेशंस होता है, इट टेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम। सो वी कैन डू वन थिंग, वी कैन गो विद द ड्राफ्टिंग। ओके, टाइम बचता है तो पर्टिकुलर मेरे को लग रहा है आपका ऑडिट रिस्क प्रॉब्लमेटिक है, वी कैन डू ऑडिट रिस्क का क्वेश्चन। ठीक है, तो लेट्स ड्राफ्ट एंड देन ऑडिट रिस्क का एक क्वेश्चन कर लेंगे, टाइम बचता है तो टुवर्ड्स। ओके, all right guys, bye bye. Read the last 12th chapter. Have a good day. Good night. I'm ending the session. Bye bye. Take care. Bye. Ending now.